The focus of this video is to review multiplying polynomials. And while the focus is not to give the initial instruction, it's just to bring back kind of the big idea here. So just so that we are using, or we understand the words that we're using here, polynomial is an expression with multiple terms. A lot of times you'll see those terms start with x squared or x cubed or x to the fourth. So we're talking about higher powered expressions, meaning higher power meaning the exponent, all right? The other thing to make sure that it's very apparent or clear is that there are multiple forms of polynomials. So the first form is called factored form, and that's where you've got the expression written in groups of what we call binomials. Okay, and you'll hear me use this word a lot. Binomials are expressions with two terms. So just to make sure you can kind of see these two terms. So in this expression, here's the first term, and here is the second term. Okay, so you've got two terms is what is classified as a binomial. So you can see in all of these, one term, second term, first term, second term, first, second. So, but it could be other things. It could be a trinomial, three terms, but specifically a lot in Algebra 2, we're going to be dealing with binomials. So factored form are where you've got groups of binomials kind of put together, and then when they're side by side, you would then infer or understand that there is a multiplication sign that's happening between those, okay? So when these two binomials or expressions are beside each other, we infer multiplication. The second form that exists in terms of polynomials is standard form, and that's when the multiplication has happened. So an expression that looks like this one here or this one down here, all of these parentheses up above, everything that was up here, it was multiplied together to create standard form. All right, this unit is going to do a lot of in between these two forms. So you're going to be moving and figuring out how to move between these two forms, whether it be by division or factoring. So that's our big idea here, is moving between factored form and standard form. Today, we are going to review how to move from factored form, so this form, into standard form. And we're going to do that by multiplying. And you've done a lot of this in Algebra 1. This is in Algebra 1 standard, but this is just a review just to make sure that you are ready to go in terms of Algebra 2. So there are two methods. You can either distribute or you can use the box method. I will show both for this just to make sure that you have an understanding depending on which method you use. So when we go to tackle this first one here, we are essentially multiplying this first binomial by the second. And so the distributive method is to kind of take this first term and multiply it by both things in the second parentheses. So 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times 8 is 16x. And then if I do my second term, which is -1, and I were to distribute the -1, I'm going to get -1x and -8. So then when the last part of this would be to combine like terms, which are those two terms in the middle. I'm left with 2x squared plus 15x minus 8, and this would be my final expression here. So you can see how I've moved from factored into standard. If you use the box method, which is absolutely okay, just to make sure we're all clear on what that looks like. So here's my box. 2x minus 1 is here, and x plus 8 is there. And then remember, we multiply whatever kind of meets in those two boxes. So 2x and x meet here, giving me 2x squared, 16x, -1x, and -8. And then I combine my like terms, which in this case happen to be on the diagonal, and I'm left with the same answer that I got if I distribute. So remember, this choice of method, it is absolutely up to you and not up to me. I do not care which method you use. This exact problem from above can be represented in a different way. If you are ever given something squared, normally students will not really fully think about this and give the answer as 4x squared plus 9. This is not correct. You do not give a power when addition is present. You can give a power when everything is being multiplied, but not when addition is present. So in this case, just to review with you, remember this 2 means there are 2 of the 2x plus 3's. So we would write it twice, and then we would multiply just like we did above, right? So we could then take the 2x and distribute that to both terms, 4x squared plus 6x, and then do the same. Sorry, I'm trying to color code here so you can kind of follow. Do the same for the second, plus 6x plus 9, and that leads me here. Or again, you can box which leads me right back there. Okay, last part of this would be what if it's not just two binomials, what if it's a little bit bigger? You can still achieve the same thing. You just have a larger amount of distributing, or the box is bigger. So in this case, I'm going to distribute the 2x to all three things. So 2x cubed and there would be my final. And if I were to box this, it would have been, it could be either way. The rectangle could go either way. I'm going to write it this way though. 2x plus 7, and then x squared minus 4x minus 1. And then you'd fill the box the same way. Wait, did I make a mistake here? Sorry. Follow my work here. Yes. Wow, is that 28, bro? I apologize. That was... And again, once you add those like terms, you're up there. All right? So hopefully this brings back enough recollection of multiplying. And remember, you can pick your method. This idea of these two forms, that's super important throughout this entire next few standards. So make sure that you're really, really clear about the difference between factored form and standard form. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out for help.